Welcome to the FPL Rival Pod. I am your slightly distracted host as, well, we have one semi-final all but done and dusted, but mine against Peaks hangs in the balance, and at the time of recording it is Man City 0, Bournemouth 0, so I've got one eye on that, and also one eye on CJ. How are you doing, CJ? I'm going to pass over to you while I struggle to shit myself.
Good, mate. Good, thank you. What we'll do in a second, we will hear Ben's full predicament on his situation, what he needs to happen, what he doesn't need to happen. He's already told me that I've not actually watched it, but he already said to me that did Semenyo assist Haaland or Haaland assist Semenyo, and it was disallowed?
Assisted Semenyo, and Peaks has captained Haaland and has Semenyo, and I don't. So I was like, oh, it's game over. But it was ruled out for offside. So I live to fight another day, or at least for another 75 minutes.
Absolutely, mate. But shall we start with the breaking news that's surrounding football currently? So
yes.
If you listened to our pod on Friday, we were talking about Southampton and Spygate and all those things, and there was a hearing today. But the actual results of the hearing are that Southampton have been expelled from the Championship playoffs over Spygate, with Middlesbrough reinstated. But I'm just reading here as well that Saints have officially appealed the decision. So not sure if the game will go ahead on Saturday. But yeah, just quickly, mate, what are your thoughts on that?
It is absolutely mental. I mean, we spoke about it last week, didn't we? Where I was talking about, like, surely, like, any kind of, like, decision is going to come at, like, a huge cost to the fans. Because imagine if you're a Southampton fan and you've booked a ticket to the final. Like, what happens? And, like, you know, is Middlesbrough now are in the final? So it's like, do they all have to scramble for tickets now? How is that even going to work, like, from a logistical point of view? But the interesting thing is about that ruling is that it wasn't just that game. It's multiple breaches. They've been doing it loads.
Okay.
And they've admitted to doing it loads. So it's the ones that, like, apparently they did it against Oxford and then they ended up losing that game anyway. So it just seems like it's a monumental decision. I think it's the right decision without knowing too much about it. But the fact that, you know, because if they'd have just got like a points deduction or a fine or something, then every other team would be like, right, if you win the playoffs, like if you're in the playoffs, you might as well just start spying, because the sort of like cost of being caught versus the reward of getting through to the Premier League is like doesn't. So they had to come up with a huge decision, didn't they? And obviously it gets
absolutely
appealed, but like, how is that going to be appealed in the next, like, what is it, 3 days? It's just madness.
Yeah, they're gonna. Isn't it? They're gonna have to reconvene, but obviously Borough are welcoming Southampton expulsion. So it's just going to read something here. It says, "We believe this sends out a clear message for the future of our game regarding sporting integrity and conduct. As a club, we are now focused on our game against Hull City at Wembley on Saturday. Ticket information for our supporters will be available shortly. So Borough will feel fully justified in their stance." So... Yeah, and I just read here as well, like you said, multiple breaches. Apparently they admitted to doing it against Ipswich in April, Oxford in December, and now Middlesbrough in May. That's 3, but if there's 3, I'm presuming there's more as well.
You've got to think, if the punishment is this harsh, that's just the ones they've been caught doing. So it will
absolutely.
And also, it's obviously a club-wide decision to do it. They can't just throw this little intern under the bus. It's clearly like, you know, something they've been doing from the top, you know, for a while. So yeah, I mean, and then deducted 4 points for next season as well. So if you're a Pompey fan, like you sort of are, you must be in absolute heaven, mate. You must be having a great time. No. They've been kicked out. Points deduction. Hopefully you beat them twice next season. What is going on?
It's just, as a Pompey fan, it obviously sits very nicely. I'm not going to lie. But it just, I'm sure we'll talk about it on Friday more, but it just baffles me that how they thought they were going to get away with this, and what were they actually going to say if they did get caught, which they did.
Yeah.
It's madness, but I feel really sorry for the players, actually, because they've been on an incredible run for the last
Mm.
well, since Christmas, realistically, to get themselves in that position. And now they've just thrown it all away from some
Yeah.
just ridiculous decisions. Like, obviously, I know like Bielsa did it back in the day, didn't he, for Leeds? And I think he got fined like 200K and just paid it out of his own money because because it was his decision, sort of thing. So,
Well, it's just
but
mental. Also, you've got to feel a little bit for Hull as well, right? Because they've been
yeah,
training as if they're playing Southampton, so they'd be preparing for that match, and now all of a sudden it's like, actually, no, you know you're going to play Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have been training this whole time, like we said on last week's pod, haven't we? So they've known their opponent. They've known that they're going to be playing exactly who they're going to play. Whereas for Hull, it's been a bit of like, who should we actually prepare for at this point?
I know, I
It's
know.
probably advantage Middlesbrough really, but again, like logistically, I just don't know how an appeal works. I don't know how the final, like the tickets get. Like if you're a Southampton fan, you get an email in your inbox saying, "Please hand over your ticket to a Middlesbrough
Yeah,
supporter ASAP." Like I just don't understand how that works. But what drama, man! Like I cannot believe it, and it's.
it is.
I think it's it's obviously something that needs to be stamped out from the game, and they've taken a huge hard stance on it, which is fair enough because. Like I say, if it was just a fine, then all the other clubs would be doing it, and it would just be like a
That's it.
total free for all.
Absolutely, I think the harsh stance and the I do actually really rate how they've dealt with it, and they've dealt with it quite
Yeah.
quickly and sorted out. Obviously, they had a timeline anyway, but it
Mm.
sets a precedent to the rest of the league, which I really like, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I'm going to bring us back to the current state of affairs, and then we can talk about game week 37 top scorers and what to look out for game week 38. But my time
Talk
with
us through
Lewis.
your situation, mate. What is your situation?
My situation is obviously we spoke last week. Peaks had the chips. He had free hit and bench boost, and I had nothing. So I took a risk. I took a -4. It was only my second time this season taking a minus to bring Saka in for Arsenal and captained him at home against Burnley. So actually heading into the game yesterday, I think I was like 20, 25 points behind. Saka did do me. He put me back in the tie. He got an assist pretty early, and the rest of the time I was like, "Come on, we just need a goal, just a goal. That's all I need, just one goal." And then he gets the bonus points and the assist, and that will put me right in the driving seat against Peaks. Unfortunately, that did not happen. It was a pretty dreadful game, actually. Just grinded out
Yeah,
the 1-0
poor
win.
game.
It tells you everything you need to know that one of the Premier League's first place team, their most attacking winger, got DEFCON points against an already relegated side. That tells you everything you need to
Yeah, I
know
saw
about that
that.
game. But again, I'm delighted with that, right? Because that's
You
another
take it. You take it.
£4 for me. Um, so yeah, Saka seems to be one of those this season. Actually, he's like, just not at the same goal scoring heights, but like in terms of DEFCON, best winger to have at the moment.
Yeah,
Anyway,
fair
so
play for bringing him.
I think it's like 1 point in between me and Peaks now. Peaks has Haaland captain to play. He has Semenyo, who I don't have, and he has Cherky. I've got Cherky, Haaland not captain, and I've got Nico O'Reilly. So I need I need Semenyo and Haaland to blank completely. I need Nico O'Reilly to probably keep a clean sheet or score or assist, and bonus points would be very welcome. And then because Cherky's being benched, if he doesn't come off the bench, I've got Daniel Munoz coming off my bench, and he's got 6 points. So if Man City don't concede and they don't score, plus Cherky doesn't come off the bench, then I've won. Only a few things need to happen, but I'm texting Peaks right now, and I listed all of what I've just listed to you, and he was like, "Your luck has been so insane this season that watch exactly all of this happen." So yeah, we'll see. But it's
To
currently
be fair, mate,
mm,
until yesterday,
mm,
like we were texting, weren't we, in our group,
mm,
me, you, and Butler. Like I thought you were done,
yeah,
and it was interesting when Lewis Skelly and Gyökeres were both
both
benched
benched.
yesterday,
Yeah, that was
which
massive for our
which
semi-final,
that was
actually, wasn't it?
huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. Because, again, you're going up against 15 players, especially after Watkins, who we'll get onto in a second, bagged
Mm.
15 points on that first day, you were like,
That
"Oh
was
dear."
gutting. That was totally gutting because Peaks had taken Morgan Rogers out, and then Rogers scored, and Peaks messaged me and was like, "Here we go, for fuck's sake!" And then Watkins got two and an assist, I think, in the final minute. So yeah, massive haul for him. So actually, yeah, that's a nice little segue. Why don't we talk about the top scorers for this game week? Is Watkins the top scorer so far with 15?
Yeah. So we got Watkins and Dango actually, both with
Mm-hmm.
15. So Watkins obviously scored two and got an assist against Liverpool. He was awesome against Liverpool, and actually I think that performance has probably cemented his England spot, which is great. And actually, I think I can't. I don't know what the figure is, but I think he was taken out by loads of managers
Mm,
along with Rodgers. So when that came in, I was laughing because I actually swapped Rodgers back into my team for Wilson, which I was really happy with. That was down to you as well.
yeah.
I was
You
texting
said
Ben
Wilson or
before,
Rogers, yeah.
yeah, and you said, well, Fulham I've scored one goal in the last 5 games. I was like, yeah, fair, that is shite. So I'll get him in.
Yeah.
Then we had just moving on to Dango, like classic.
Oh, he's
I
so annoying, man. I needed Thiago to
I
do
took him
something.
out.
Yeah.
I took him out for Trossard. He was on my bench. He was on my bench, to be fair. Like, he's been absolutely shocking. Like, let me just look at it. His last few points. So he's got, obviously, he got 1-6-1-3-2-1. Do you know what I mean? And he's been in my team the whole time for that. And then I take
Yeah.
him out,
It's one of those, isn't
put
it?
Trossard in. Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I just wanted to draw
Mm,
you to one player who's gone really under the radar,
mm.
and it's Newcastle's William Asula.
Mate, I was thinking about him. Because I needed a cheap third striker. And
Yeah,
obviously at the moment I've got Junior Krupp, he's like 4.5. But William Asula now has 5 goals in 6 appearances. And he's only 5.4 million. If he was doing this earlier in the season, I think everybody would have been all over him. And I was trying to have a look because he's getting minutes, like he's getting starts.
yeah,
Visser is
he's starting. Yeah,
Visser is completely out of the picture at the moment, not even getting like minutes off the bench. Voldemort, we've kind of changed the system actually, which is nice. We're playing like you know, how
yeah. I liked it. I like the look of it. Yeah,
yeah, how during his time has always been like 4-3-3 with two wingers, and then one guy up front. But he's sort of switched to like a flat midfield four, and then he's got Voldemort playing as sort of like the 10 role, and then Osula's playing ahead of Voldemort as like the number 9. And you know, West Ham, it has to be said, West Ham were absolutely dreadful that game.
especially in
And
the first 20 minutes.
oh mate, I've never seen such like a meek surrender, considering the fact that you know they've got Premier League status on the line. They switched to a back five for some reason, and it just did not work. And we absolutely hammered them for the first 20 minutes. But yeah, hopefully good signs, man. And yeah, William Asula. I mean, on deadline day, we got like a 25, 30 million pound offer for him from Leverkusen, which I think we
Yeah,
rejected just because we'd lost Isak and Wilson. And at the time, I was like, 30 million for that guy is like really good because he was super raw, but he's really been like coming on leaps and bounds the last few games. And yeah, I did think about him. I just couldn't afford him, and he was a bit expensive,
yeah. But
5.4. Yeah,
he's got. So obviously he got 2 goals against West Ham for 13 points, and then he's
yeah,
got he in his last 6 games he's got 13-2-9-2-9-8 with,
yeah.
like you said, 5 goals in his last 6 games, which is unbelievable to be honest. And he started all those last
Mhm.
6, so I imagine he's
And
going to
he'll
start again against Fulham away. So if you want a little
he
punt
will.
and you've got a,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit later on about maybe some differentials to put in your team for the last game of the season. But he would definitely be up
Mm.
there, and he's
Mm.
only, what is he? He is
1.4, I think.
1.3% owned across the game.
1.3%
So
owned. There you go. Yeah. I mean, he's
it would have
definitely going
been
to start. You can't
amazing.
drop him now.
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Let's just look at a
Oh.
couple more. Obviously, you mentioned Saka.
Bournemouth have just scored an unbelievable goal.
Did they?
Yes. And it's Croupy
Junior
Jr.
Krupi.
It's Croupy. Oh
Wow.
no! There goes my clean sheet for Nico O'Reilly. No,
Is that you done, do you think, now?
I don't know. I need Cherky not to come off the bench, and then Munoz comes on for 6, and that might put me in. Might put me in a draw. What happens if you draw the semi in a playoff game? By the way.
So it goes down to, don't remember when I drew the final last year, it goes
Yeah.
down to some ridiculous, I don't know what it was, like the most goals or something. oh, oh, you can't write it. But just before we move on to look ahead to game week 38, not that you're going to want to look ahead to game week 38, mate, but just to highlight again, Elliot Anderson, what a
Unbelievable
season.
player. Unbelievable player.
What a season he's had. So he now has, let me just have a look. So obviously he got 12 points again against United. He got 2 assists and 20 DEFCON contributions again for 12 points. He has, let me just see how many total points he's got this year. So he has 178 points this year.
Yeah.
And I think he started at 5 mil. So the amount of value you've got for him this year, I know he was tipped at the start of the year for those DEFCON, but he has been unbelievable this year. I think he's been, we'll probably look at it maybe not this week, next week when we do a little roundup of the season, like who have been the best budget picks. And he is at the top by a mile.
Yeah.
I think, let me just see where he is in overall points. He is.
Creepy was just through on goal. It's almost 2-0. I can't be dealing with this.
So Anderson is eighth in overall points.
Wow.
In the game.
5 million. How much is he now?
Million.
Like, how much does he cost now?
5.6 million he costs now.
So what, a 10% increase?
And he's still only 7.7% owned. Like, he is an absolute lock in my team next year, wherever he goes, if it's City or United or whoever.
I was going to say, he's linked with a big move, isn't he? I wish he was still at Newcastle, man. This is the problem with PSR, but I won't get into it.
It's horrible, isn't it?
I wish he was still with us, and he's such an unbelievable player. I'm so happy he's doing so well. Obviously, he's got to be a shoo-in for the England squad as well.
Absolute. He's starting. He's in my starting team.
Yeah, and like you say, like wherever he goes next summer, I imagine there'll be a hefty price increase again, especially if he goes to City. But yeah, he's got to be in everybody's templates going forward next year.
Absolutely. There's not many more other names to mention. Obviously, Rodgers came through at last.
Yeah.
With a 12-point haul. Again, could have been more. Enzo Lefebvre had a nice little 13-point. Now, he's a nice little one under the radar. Not bad for DEFCON. Again, not a bad little shout. But that's pretty much it. We'll have a look now to game week 38. Fingers crossed that you get there, mate, but it doesn't look...
It doesn't look good.
Doesn't look like... What do you honestly need now? You need...
Well, I need Nico O'Reilly to make a goal contribution, or I need... I don't know what I need. Munoz, I need Cherky to stay on the bench, but I don't think that's going to happen with City 1-0.
No,
because as it
not
stands,
now.
As it stands, Arsenal have won the league, right? So they need to win this game, so they need to go for it. So Nico O'Reilly needs to pull something out of his hat. He needs a brace, probably.
Yeah.
And I need Haaland and Semenyo to stay quiet in this game. So yeah, in all likelihood, it's going to be Peaks versus Mike in the final. So they're both going to have their free hit as well, right? So why don't we give them some players that they can potentially...
That's it. What I'm going to do, I'll just run through the fixtures and then we can have a look, talk about differentials for this last game. So all games on Sunday are at 4:00. So we've got Brighton at home to United, Burnley home to Wolves, Palace home to Arsenal, Fulham home to Newcastle, Liverpool home to Brentford, City home to Villa, Forest home to Bournemouth, Sunderland home to Chelsea, Spurs home to Everton, and West Ham home to Leeds. So if I was picking out home teams to start with, I think I like Liverpool.
Yeah.
At home to Brentford in Salah's last game.
Yeah.
Obviously City Forest, I quite
Well,
like.
City though, like, would you really say that though? Because we've got,
Yeah,
if they lose this game today, then they've got nothing to play for, right? And is Pep's? We haven't talked about that either. It's Pep's last game. It's
I know.
confirmed that he's being replaced by Maresca. How do you feel about that?
Yes. Sad for the league.
Do you
Sad for the
reckon?
league, I think. Like
Yeah,
having him is just elevated the Premier League huge amounts. Like I'm sure we'll go into it more on Friday's ep, but
yeah,
I think Maresca, they've obviously got him in. They knew that was going to happen, didn't they? Like Maresca, they think fits the mold of Guardiola. Like he
yeah,
showed at Chelsea before he got sacked. He is a good manager. He's a good coach. Like he has the same ethics and the same style, I think, as Guardiola. So
yeah,
we'll just see, because obviously you've got Stones leaving, you've got Bernardo Silva leaving. Like big characters are leaving City. So
yeah,
it will be interesting if he has like a slot bounce with that current squad, or if
yeah.
he finds
Struggles.
his own sort of niche as quick as he can, if you know what I mean.
Um, yeah, I guess. I mean, they want to send him off, wouldn't they? Like, you can't
Yeah,
ignore Haaland, I suppose. Like, it would be a real risk to go into the final without Haaland, I guess. Um,
absolutely.
but might be worth taking because Villa have qualified for the Champions League, haven't they? They're guaranteed top five finish, and it's not
Yeah,
as if they're going to have anything to play for. And they're in the final, are they not, of the Europa
yeah.
League?
Final Wednesday, so they would have played the final 3 games before. So I can't imagine they're going to be fielding the strongest team against City.
Yeah.
That's why I quite like City with Pep's last game.
Hmm.
But I think at the moment everyone's got 3 City players and they probably haven't got a differential. So we'll
Yeah.
move on from City. Let's look at. I don't know. To be fair, mate, it's a tough one. I don't
It's
mind.
such a tough call on the final day of the season, isn't it? Uh, Because again, it kind of depends. We should be recording this after the last couple games,
Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah,
because if City come back and win this, then you want to target Arsenal players for Sunday against Crystal Palace, because Palace again, they've got the Europa Conference League final, right, and nothing really to play for
absolutely.
in the league. So Arsenal and City are the two ones to target there. Tottenham, no, they're playing Chelsea now. They could basically confirm their survival.
Yeah, I
Brighton,
don't mind them at home. To be
yeah.
fair,
Although
against
their home
Everton, against
record's
Everton, nothing
pretty
to play
shocking.
for. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Forest players again, but like Gibbs, White, Anderson, I don't see any differentials really there.
yeah,
Sunderland at home to Chelsea. Let me just look at some Sunderland players. I mentioned Lefay. He's 1.5% owned.
yeah.
Brobby, 0.9% owned. Did you see him absolutely wait Tarkovsky at the weekend for his goal?
No, did he just bash him over? Didn't
Just
he?
went through.
Yeah,
Tarkovsky came shoulder to shoulder, and Brobby just shrugged him off like he wasn't. He was like a
like it
rag
wasn't
doll.
even there.
Um,
Yeah,
so I don't mind those two. I actually quite like those two. Maybe with Mukiele or
Hmm.
um, sort of a Gertruda or Reynaldo, one of the back three, or even Roofs in goal, 8.1. I quite like Sunderland. They were really good against Everton. I think that was a bit of a shock result this week as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about West Ham players? Obviously, it could be done tonight if Spurs draw, if they don't lose.
If Spurs win or draw, then West Ham are down, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't touch any West Ham players unless Tottenham. Oh, yeah, if Tottenham lose, then I guess like Bowen would be fair game. Maville.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then I guess the other one is Fulham versus Newcastle. Newcastle, a good bit of form, 3 straight wins. You got Big Willie Asula up front, causing all sorts of
I love
problems.
that.
And Fulham have got nothing to play for. So I mean, we
No,
seem to
I
have
would be
turned that.
targeting Fulham. Let's just look at some Newcastle players. So we've got
Bruno G.
obviously Bruno G. He's only
Yeah,
6.2% owned now. He might be a nice one. I love Barnes at 1.2% owned.
yeah.
Love Barnes.
Love Barnes in general. Gordon has been benched, and it looks like he's off in the summer. So that I think Barnes will be guaranteed a start on the final day, and he's got
Barnes and
consistent red.
Bruno
Yeah,
G and Asula. I think that little treble up, if you could
yeah,
do it, would be so backdoor and a
yeah.
great shout, I think, against Fulham.
I don't go for any defenders because we can't keep a clean sheet to save our life. I think we've got 1 in 23 or something like that. So yeah, just attacking players. And then
That's it. And then just
one more thing on
what about
Liverpool at home
Liverpool?
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say Virgil van Dijk must be the only player in history, of fantasy history, to score twice against Villa and not get any bonus points. They're at home to Brentford. I think Brentford have got plenty to play for, right? Because if they win, they can secure European football of some form. And actually, Liverpool
yeah,
might be in danger of completely slipping out of the Champions League spots. Farney was saying in the
yeah.
group the other day. So I don't know. I don't actually know the permutations off the top of my head, but I think Liverpool currently sat in fifth on 59 points. I don't know if this is a live table, but Bournemouth are behind them, 1 point behind them. I don't know if that's taken into
Yes, so they're
account.
1 point behind. So if they beat
Yeah,
City, they go up to 58.
yeah,
So then Liverpool, if Liverpool don't win, that means Bournemouth could jump them into fifth. So yeah, and Brentford could then jump. Yeah, Brentford have to win. And to be fair, Sunderland are there as well. That's why I mentioned Sunderland. But
yeah,
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 Brentford and Brighton. Let's just go to Brentford and Brighton because they definitely have something to play for, and Bournemouth. But
yeah.
Brentford wise, who are you looking at, mate?
Um, I mean, Igor Thiago's a good one, although he's been very quiet recently. Dango, I'm not touching because he's so hot and cold. Lewis Potter
I
is
quite like
always,
Kelleher. I quite like the back
yeah,
four. I quite like
yeah.
the back four in a
I
way.
was going to
Like
say
I know they do.
defensively, they're very good, aren't
Yeah,
they? And they've got some real good assets there. Because Lewis Potter, we've talked about him a lot on the pod over this season. In that he's a defender on fantasy, but he can play as like across the front three, and he has done at some points these seasons. So yeah, Lewis Potter is a good one. Although away at Anfield, when Liverpool have Champions League at stake, you'd have to say Liverpool are probably going to score. I don't know if they'll win, but they'll probably will score at some point. So
yeah,
Brentford,
you would hope.
yeah, Brentford. I'm not really like. There's no one stand out. I did have Kelleher for a while, and he was very good for me. But yeah. What about Brighton? Would you think of any Brighton players?
The thing with Brighton, I really like the back four, like Kadioglu, Van Hecker. They've all done very well this year. Like Hinshelwood's done well. Gross. I think if I was really going for it, and I had I was doing my free hit, I would put Welbeck in
Yeah,
there, especially against United in that
yeah,
last game of the season.
yeah. And
He
again,
would be my
United
one.
United don't really have anything to play for either. They're confirmed as
No,
third, right? They're not gonna finish second or fourth. They're also going to be a little bit on the beach. Yeah, cheeky punt on Welbeck could pay off. He always seems to
and
come up with a good
one
one.
one I one I what I actually tipped him at the start of the year, but Maxim de Kuiper. So I know he
Yes.
got 15 points against Wolves last week with 2 assists, but until Calvert-Lewin scored that goal in the 97th minute, he
Yeah.
was on for a 9-pointer again. I think Hall because he was on for the 3 bonus. So
Mm.
him and Hecker. I do still like Verbruggen in goal. Maybe not at home to United. There's probably better options out there, but I really fancy Welbeck. Like
Yeah.
Welbeck, 9% owned against United to take Brighton
Yeah.
into European football. So I think, isn't it as well? If Villa finish fourth, that Champions League place doesn't go down to sixth, is it? Is that right?
Um. Oh right. You're talking about if they win the Europa League.
So I think if they finished fifth and they won the Europa League,
Yeah.
because they automatically get champs, that means then the Champs League place goes down to sixth,
Right. But it
if
doesn't.
that
That
makes
doesn't.
sense. But I think if they finish fourth, I'm not sure if it does.
Ah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's
but
mad.
again,
So we could have 6 English teams in the Premier and in the Champions League next season. One of them potentially
that's
being
it.
Bournemouth, which would
One
be
potentially
some.
being Bournemouth. I think. Well, if they win tonight, they've got a serious chance.
Yeah, that would be some way for Iriola to sign off, right?
It'd
Champions
be
League
incredible.
for Bournemouth. They've got like a stadium capacity of like 11,000. That'd be
I
unreal.
know, and they've got Forest away last game of the season. Forest nothing. I know Forest are
Nothing
in
to
good
play for.
form, but
Yeah,
I think Bournemouth are in absolutely scintillating form. I think if I again let's just finish this ep with
mm,
Bournemouth players, mate, as we're talking about them.
yeah,
You've obviously got Senesi and Hill at the back.
Yeah.
You've got Truefair, who's been exceptional this year. He's actually their second time top point scorer this year with 155. You've got Scott, the third top point scorer. You've obviously got Krupi and Evan Nielsen, who have been excellent. You've got Rayan. Like, you've got absolutely endless options. I think I probably would, if they beat City tonight, would be trebling up on Bournemouth, trebling up on Arsenal, trebling up on Newcastle.
The final's going to be so interesting, isn't it?
It is going to be really interesting to see what they both do. Like, I'm sure Peaks and will be sending me his teams, but
Peaks.
But yeah, mate, we will.
4 points ahead of us.
How is it? Yeah.
4 points ahead. How is it? So as long as Shirky doesn't, if this result holds, like if it's 1-0, that's okay. Just don't bring Cherky off the bench, and then Munoz can come off, and I can win.
That's it. You need a lot to happen, but fingers crossed for you, pal. Fingers crossed, and we'll know by Friday's episode whether Ben has won or not. But you have had an unbelievable season, mate. So massive congrats on the other end as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, we'll leave it there, shall we? May the fantasy
mate.
be with me for the next 45 minutes while I watch this. I'll keep you posted.
See you Friday, guys.